Hashtag We Are Movie Club.
Hey there, We Are Movie Club. This week is Your Next. Now this is a review for week 55 of Hashtag We Are Movie Club. This week's pick is mine. So the short sell on this one is that a family comes under attack by a group of vicious murderers. My love for this one is that instead of everyone just being incapable, there's at least one person who has their shit together and ready to actually deal with the situation. At least be smarter than a bag of rocks, you know? Might hate it even more than, like, leaving good weapons in dead people. That two brothers were in on the plot. Oh, I just spoiled it for you. Ooh. But it was a decidedly bad choice to me because it was like the movie was over and then it kept going, and I just couldn't support that in the thing. I liked everything else about it, but there's some breach of suspense of disbelief, if you will. My MVP by far was Shammy Vincent, the Australian lady who kicked everybody's ass. Fuck yeah. That was awesome. Go you, girl. I love seeing that role. It's great. I love that, like, the foreign chick was the one to step up and save the day with all these fat, lazy Americans, especially this family of spoiled little kids, it seems like. But let's get on to the categories.
Aesthetics.
This movie is shot really well. It made a lot of use out of, like, dark, even though most of it happens in the house. Having the windows be pretty much black from night made a huge difference. Having a lot of them come out from the shadows is a lot of good imagery. The music was on pace with the story at the different times. There wasn't any silly sound effect errors or anything that you typically get with gunplay, because most of this was knives and axes and arrows and such. And a lot of the practical effects for the wounds and everything was done superbly. There's several points where things happen and I get that, like, phantom pain. You're like, oh gosh. But just having the masks on the villains really makes a difference because it removes the humanity from the killer, and it's not even like pent up rage. It's just cold, calculated sociopathy and psychopathy, probably more likely, but still. It definitely amps it up, and especially something like a lamb as the mask. That was a nice touch on behalf of the people in charge. Aesthetics gets a 90.
Character development.
Admittedly, there wasn't a whole lot, but they definitely did it well. You got the asshole brother who's always trying to pick fights. You've got the girlfriends and such that are just trying to be nice. You've got the lovely young daughter who's lost weight. You never acknowledged me, and, like, they really built her up as a character in such a short amount of time super well, and then things happen. Just like with a brief dinner conversation, they did a lot of work on several different characters, and the characters who have longevity in the movie, they definitely developed. Like, maybe not to the point where, like, you can relate to why they do what they do, but you could definitely see some reasonability in all of it, and it was really interesting to see that happen. Character development gets an 85.
Storyline.
I'll be honest, as much as I like the movie, there's not a lot of storyline here. It's, hey, somebody wants to knock off a bunch of rich folks, so they try to murder them en masse, and that's what it is. And it's all of them reactionary. There's no big motive story. There's no huge metaphor that ties the movie all together. There's really not. It's a little bit of action for action's sake, but at least there's the drama of the motivation and the mystery behind what's actually happening to help spur on that action. So this is my type of action movie, but it's far from perfect. Storyline gets an 80.
Compulsion.
I think this is really fun. I like strategic movies. I like slasher films because, someone's trying to murder us. What do we do? How do we deal with the scenario? And there's obviously a lot of permutations of actions that you can explore to find a winning path. It's very similar to watching someone play a video game. It's like, oh, they could do this, this, or this, but it's real life-ish, so it's analog instead of digital. So it's really fun to see these type of movies. It's really fun to see these type of movies done well, but again, not not perfect by any means. They could have had some better actors here or there. They could have had some better choices for different things. But and I never quite got there where, like, okay, I can see where they're coming from, because even if I didn't like my family that much, I don't know, arranging this mass murder, like through hiring people and whatnot, it seems a little far-fetched to deal with. Compulsion gets an 87. Now, to all that up, you get an average of 85.5. For my wrap review, I'm going to say it's not the best action movie, it's not the best slasher movie, but it's pretty good. It's got an interesting execution and a very interesting premise to go with it, so I give it a win. Once again, this was a review for hashtag WeAreMovieClub. This week's pick was mine. Next week's pick is Charlie with Turbo. So be sure to check that out. Yeah. It's one of those cartoony kids movies Charlie loves. I'm looking forward to watching it for him, but I don't think I would ever watch it again on my own. That's it for me. Have a nice day. I am Cameron.
Be sure to go check out all the fine folks that are involved in this video. Thanks for watching.